Hey, yo, what up? What up? What's good? What's good? Y'all give me a second. I started the show and I had a couple things to do. Hey, yo, real quick, Nerd Culture Knows is going to jump in and join me in just a second. Like having them all, man. Had a good conversation last time. So and there's not much today, but they did drop a final trailer for X-Men 97, which I do plan on taking a look at and sort of breaking down a little bit. And but real quick, they super nameless because they wanted to, but I just have to shout out. I got this microphone I've wanted forever, right? It's a Shure, it's an M7B, but like, hold on, it's a MV7. There's the M7B is the first one, the really expensive one. But I've wanted one of these for a minute and just couldn't pull the trigger on it. It's again, it's expensive. And the mic that I had, which was a Blue Yeti, which if you've ever used a Blue Yeti, any of you guys before, it's a great mic. It's a great mic, and it works very well if you just like sit it at a round table in the middle, like 4 people. It'll catch everybody. But I've wanted one of these because this is, if you're a podcaster and you do shit, you know that this gold standard for this shit is these Shure microphones. So, yeah. So I've been wanting one forever, and somebody I know sort of had to get rid of some shit, man. They needed some cash pretty fast, and they needed to sort of downgrade some of their shit. And I was able to get this at a fucking fire price, y'all. So shouts out again. There's like, hey, you know, I'm not gonna put anybody's names out there, but I did want to shout that out right off the rip. If it sounds good, y'all let me know, man. Does it sound better, or does it sound just as good or better than before? I mean, I don't know. It's I've used it. I got it the other day, and I used it on Amateur Hour the other night, and it sounded great. So I think it sounds pretty good. So anyway, like I said, I wanted this for a long time and finally got me one, and it's fucking incredible, man. So just wanted to shout that out real quick. But hold on, give me just a second here. Nerd Culture Knows is gonna jump in, man. Appreciate you, Ruthie. Hey, appreciate y'all, man. Hey, thank y'all a lot. Let's see. Yeah, like I said, there's not much today. Let me get everything started. Not much at all. There's a little bit of news, like I said, but that trailer dropped today, and I was like, yeah, this is worth talking about. Speaking of them, let's see what's going on. Hey, what's good, man? Hey, can you hear me? All right. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, you sound pretty good.
All right. I don't know if you heard. I just got this mic the other day.
Yeah.
I was pretty much blessed with it because this is it's an expensive microphone, and I did not have to pay much for it. And I was like, yo, this is yeah.
Yeah, I took a glimpse at one of those as well, but But since most of my equipment is the Elgato, like I have the Stream Deck.
Oh yeah. Oh, so you good? Yeah.
So I was like, well, if I'm gonna do that, I might as well just go with the Elgato mic as well, the XLR mic.
So, yeah.
But yeah, I heard those Shure mics. I heard they're pretty good.
Yeah, they I mean, I 9 out of 10 podcasts you watch, whether it's especially if it's like you know, there's a Shannon Sharp, anybody professional, they all got those Shure microphones as they're like, well, not this particular one. This is a bit cheaper than that like $500 mic that they got out there, but yeah.
I couldn't when I was getting my equipment. I was gonna pull a trigger. I'm like, I don't know if I could justify that right now.
No, I can't. You know what? Especially since like I had that Blue Yeti for so long, and it still worked great for like the last 3 or 4 years. That's one of the reasons. But this one, I was like, how much? I can't not get that, and I want one really bad. So there's
yeah. When you got the opportunity to get it, especially if it's not at full price, definitely.
Yeah, man. I 1000%. So, how you doing, man? You doing all right?
I'm okay. How you doing?
How'd
you feel about the draft?
No, as far as my team is concerned, because I'm a Packers fan, I was very satisfied. Like, there was no picks that I was scratching my head about. So I'm the hometown team, on the other hand, I'm from Georgia. The Falcons, they got a little. There's a couple head scratches.
Yeah, I heard someone should have gone and got the juice boxes.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, it was insane. But no, overall though, Detroit killed it, man. They broke the record for attendance, like fan attendance at the draft. So that's and then we have it. Green Bay has it next year. So we'll see if we can mess with. I don't think we'll be able to mess with the numbers they brought in though, because Green Bay is so small. So I don't know about.
So are you gonna be on location next year?
Yo, that is definitely in the cards. The discussions have been had because it lasts. It's not like trying to make it up there to watch a game. It's a big, sprawling sort of 3 or 4 day event. So if I get a chance to go just one day, that's what more can you ask for? And it's going to be like right there at Lambeau Field and shit. So if I get the opportunity, So did you get a chance? Did you watch that X-Men trailer?
I did. I've watched it a couple times just because there was a lot packed into it.
Yeah,
it almost feels like they're trying to cover the 3-part finale.
Yeah,
so there was a lot in there. But yeah, I was happy to see Nightcrawler. He's doing his thing in there. So I'm a big Nightcrawler fan. So it was good to see him. He's going to be playing a big part in the last 3 episodes.
Yeah, I hope so. I like Nightcrawler as well. So let me get a couple more things. So what I wanted to do first, and this wasn't the thing I was going to start out. We'll talk about the X-Men.
Okay,
we'll bring it up and sort of break it down a little bit. But something popped up, and I am going to see this weekend. And so I just sort of anybody who doesn't know, the Phantom Menace is coming back to theaters this weekend. Like,
20th anniversary.
Yes. And so I will be catching it this entire weekend. There's showings in theaters for just Star Wars in general. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter whatever your favorite chapter in that saga is. You haven't watched Nightcrawler yet. Oh, you talking about the movie with the Jake Gyllenhaal movie? What's she talking about? Is it? You think that's what she's talking about? She said I have not watched Nightcrawler yet.
Well, there is the Jake Gyllenhaal movie, Nightcrawler,
which is dope. That movie.
I would be surprised, Ruth, if you have not
seen that one. Yeah,
a little surprised. Only because I know you're into those types of movies, so I'd be surprised.
Real quick before we get me and my wife yesterday watched Late Night with the Devil.
Fine.
Okay.
What'd you think?
Have you seen it?
Oh, I mean, I've probably watched it 3 or 4 times already.
Okay, dude. Let me. So I look at the expense of sounding like I don't know what the. We watched the ending like 3 times and we're like, what? We don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, and it's spoilers if you haven't seen Late Night with the Devil. Spoilers. Look, at the end of this movie, once you see what happens. That shit was.
Yeah,
most insane things I've ever seen in any movie, let alone a movie like that where her head split open and that shit. Yep. So like once he has his little dream thing and he comes back and obviously we've seen what he's done.
Yep.
We led to believe that he killed all of them? Or
no, I'm led to believe that he might have just killed her.
Okay. Oh shit, Ruthie. She hadn't seen it, or is it Nightcrawler? Nightcrawler or Late Night with the Devil?
Both. She hasn't.
Okay. Hey, I don't want to spoil, but just like that caught me, and I was like, wait a minute, and me and my wife had discussed it, so we rewound it back and watched just from when that scene starts. What a fucking incredible movie, man. Even though I was confused by the ending, man, everything. The acting, the way it was put together, and I like that it looks like you literally believe that shit happened in the 70s, right? You know what I mean?
It's funny because every time this movie comes up in a conversation that I'm either
go ahead.
that I'm a part of is I mean, many people. I mean, I wasn't around in the 70s. But if you actually go back, I mean, it's not that it's not known. This used to happen in the 70s on talk shows. Like Johnny Carson used to have like Uri Geller on. Yeah. Uri Geller was one of those guys that believed he had, I can move things with my mind. And when they actually it was just like this big thing. Yeah. And when they would bring him on, they had set up these controls and tests to see, hey, if you really have these powers, you should be able to do this. Yeah, and then they never could because they would be like, oh, well, it's the lighting, kind of like what they kind of referenced in the movie. It's the lighting, or it's too warm in here. It's just interesting that they really played off of true events of what happened in various 70s talk shows. But I loved the way it was filmed. It really felt like it was like, okay, this is the 70s. The style of the filming felt like it was actually filmed in the 70s.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
it was. Yeah, I think it hasn't been out that long, but yeah, I think I've probably watched it like 3 or 4 times already. It's definitely a really good movie, especially if you're a horror movie fan.
Yeah, which like I told you last time we talked, we trying to branch out some more because I don't fuck with that shit that much. But
yeah,
no, it was good. It was good, and the aesthetic, it was just great, and like I loved it because I could feel that, like even though I was born in the late 70s, I'm an older cat. I'm 46. I've never been afraid to tell him about how old I am, but like that period of time, like even during the 80s, once I got old enough to sort of realize like that, those late night talk shows used to battle, man. Like
yeah,
Carson was the king. He was the king. Everybody was trying to catch up to him. So I like the way they played off of that with, him trying to catch Carson's ratings and he couldn't, and all of that stuff. It made a lot of sense to me, you know what I mean? So I enjoyed it. And I ain't gonna go into any more spoilers. I don't by the time Ruthie gets to watch it, I wanted to be like, oh shit, because dude, that entire last, how long you think that is? Once it kicks off at the end, about what, like 20 minutes?
Oh, at least 20 minutes is just the last 20 minutes is just nonstop. Yeah.
Yeah, just
but it does have a great build up too.
Yes.
And even at the beginning when it sets the stage for what's going to happen in the film, I thought that was helpful because if they didn't do that in the first 5-10 minutes, you'd be wondering why. You would probably thinking, why am I even watching this movie? This makes no sense. But how they set the premise as to what this night is for, like you mentioned, like the ratings, it's a key night for the show and what's going to progress from there on. The last 20 minutes though was just, I mean, you're really just glued because you want to just keep seeing what's going to happen next.
Yeah. I agree, man. So I just wanted to mention that before we jump in. But all right, so real quick, I saw this. I'm gonna bring this up here. I saw this just like literally right before we said Star Wars: The Phantom Menace returns theaters this week for the film's 25th anniversary. Watched the original trailer, and I just thought, you know what? Let's watch the original. I think I saw this on MTV when it premiered. Like MTV, if you didn't know, they had this show called Total Request Live, and they used to they when this trailer came out, this is where it premiered, was on Total Request Live, because the music video for Battle of the Fates was like constantly #1, like during their the way, you remember how Total Request Live worked. The viewers would call in and vote, or you'd vote on videos to be in the top 5 or whatever for that particular day.
Yeah, it used to be hosted by Carson Daly.
Yeah, Carson Daly. Yeah. Yep. So hey, make sure let me know if you can hear this when it starts, man.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Bring it back now. See if I can get it to okay, here it is.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Hey, give me a second. Let me yeah, I'm gonna come off of Twitter watching it, and I'm gonna go to YouTube because it's giving me a little issues here. Normally that happens sometimes when I'm trying to play videos from Twitter on. Let's see.
Yeah, no worries.
I mean, plus I figure that's a good way to start off Star Wars week. I guess this is it. Yeah, this is it. Hold on, let's see. All right. Here we go. Playing a lot better.
Yep, I can hear it too.
Okay. Man, the only premise I had before this movie came out was that you're gonna see like the origins of Darth Vader.
Yeah.
They put the little faint breathing in there.
You refer to the prophecy of the one who will bring balance to the Force. You believe it's this boy?
He can see things before they happen.
He can help you.
The Force is unusually strong with him.
He was meant to help you.
Anakin! Tell him to take off!
Will I ever see you again? What does your heart tell you?
Are you sure about this? Trusting our fate to a boy we hardly know?
Anakin Skywalker, meet Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I sense much fear in you.
The boy is dangerous. They all sense it. Why can't you?
Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
Man, it's hard to believe it's gonna be 25 years.
25 years. Yo, that's the infamous the trailer that they put out, like you had to go see Jack Black or Meet Joe Black. You remember that movie, Meet Joe Black? Yeah, you had to go see that to see this, and it was like the the joke was like literally people were, as soon as that trailer ended, they got up and just left. So Joe Black had like if one opening weekend, its opening box office was incredible because everybody just wanted to see that trailer for Star Wars.
And Meet Joe Black is actually a really good movie.
Yo, I like, dude, man. Let me tell you something.
It's a great movie.
It took a second, but as soon as you see him get hit by that bus, I'm in. Let's go, because that was one of the most incredible things. I was like, yo, I would show it people like, yo, you got to check this out. And he get hit by this thing because it just totally caught me off guard. But no, the movie's good. The movie's really good. Matter of fact, I hadn't seen it in a little bit, man. But
I will say, as far as episode 1, it has one of the best saber duels across the entire Star Wars verse, so to speak.
It does.
It was just great.
It does, and it was. I remember, it's, and I think a lot. One of the reasons why it stands out to a lot, because before that, the best lightsaber duel you had seen to that point was Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker in Return of the Jedi. Like you hadn't gotten you know what I mean? And so like once Lucas felt comfortable enough to come back and do this, it was better choreographed. And so like it was just like, the way he describes it is, this is the Jedi's heyday. That's why like the lightsaber battles are just way, because especially in episode 2, like at the end and stuff. But yeah, man, I wanted to watch that. It's May the 4th is Saturday, which is also like new comic book day. So like
it is.
My local comic shop is like doing it big. I'll be down there this Saturday checking some of the stuff out they got over there or whatever. But all right, man,
William was saying it's just gonna be absolutely crazy this weekend for him.
Yeah, it's Star Wars and that they every so often they fall right there. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be a good one. But all right, you guys, let's get into the show. We'll jump into pretty much stuff I saw today.
What the hell is that?
All right, let's jump this in there. All right, so I saw this a little bit ago, 4K collector's edition for Dune. The pictures like not that good of quality, but I want this.
Both films, or is it just the first film?
I don't know. It doesn't have it. See, somebody asked under there any other information. They just posted 4K collector's edition for Dune Part 2. It looks like a box. And you get
it's like a
Dune Steelbook here, a book, some pictures and things of that nature. I would imagine there has to be more stuff in there than just that, though.
Yeah, and if you're and my thing is, if you're gonna do something like this, I mean, I always hope or wish they would have done it for the first one. That way, kind of like a matching set almost.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have a steelbook, just a steelbook or a standard case for your first film. Then you got this nice box set for Part 2.
Yeah.
So
well, and that's the reason. Like over the years, I've become sort of I guess that you could use the term frugal about like buying stuff like that, because like series that I watch, I bought The Last of Us season 1. Just I wanted to have it to, you know what I'm saying? But normally when it comes to series, I don't buy any physical until the series is done. You know what I mean? Because it's the same thing with like Fast and the Furious. Every time a new movie comes out, they release this box set with
another box set.
And you're like, well, so you wait till they all come out, you know what I mean, and then get a complete thing if that's what you into. So that's normally what I do. maybe, hopefully, man, they'll release something like this with both movies in it, and it'll have the, some extra stuff like that. That would be pretty dope. But I just saw that.
Yeah, especially if they do a third film.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And because I saw a few things for Dune Part 1 when it came out on physical, but I just bought the 4K. That's it. I just bought that, and because I knew there was another one coming. And so with this one, now that they've which we knew they were going to approve, they were going to, announce a third one was coming. There's no way you have a successful movie like that with that kind of ending that you don't sort of capitalize off the popularity of the property or whatever. But so I normally don't buy like until it's done. Once the full thing comes out, and then I'll think about purchasing. But this one was I guess it just also depends on pricing too, man.
Yeah, that looks like that's gonna be probably anywhere between that looks like it'd be anywhere between 150 and 200.
Yeah. So if that's a bit much for me to just be like, you know what I mean? Knowing that something like when the trilogy is done on physical, they're probably gonna drop a massive box set with like all kinds of extras and things of that nature. So
well, not just the extras, because a lot of times they'll even add additional special like features, interviews, content on the actual disc that you don't have in some of these other box sets that were put out. So sometimes it is just good to wait.
But I thought this was nice though overall, just to see it. And once it looks like it's not like photographs. I mean, I think this is of the steelbook because I've seen that before. But as far as this box and the art that's on it, I hadn't seen that until just today. Let's move on. All right, so I don't know if this movie coming out, man, called Weapons. It's supposed to be a horror movie. I don't know. I've never seen a horror movie called Weapons, but
I haven't either.
Alden Ehrenreich and Weapons alongside Josh Brolin and Julia Garner. Love Julia Garner. Described as a multi-story horror epic tonally in the vein of Magnolia. That's wild. That's a wild
premise. Interesting. Yeah.
So, but I thought it was interesting, the casting so far, because I remember seeing Josh Brolin casting that not too long ago, and then obviously Julia Garner, who's her name's kind of out there right now with the Silver Surfer news, so she's casting it, and then Han Solo is in there too. So.
Julia Garner, I think would be good in a horror film, especially what she was able to do with Ozark. I mean, Ozark wasn't a horror, but the character she played had some pretty dark, some dark stuff to it. So I think she could bring something pretty cool to a horror film.
Yeah, man, I'm I'm interested in this. I'm interested. I like the cast so far, so I like to see what they got going on after that. New poster for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I saw. Yeah, let me pull this up and see if I can get the total thing in the picture. Yeah, man, I like this. I like this. And there's a the last clip they put out, man. I thought I had sent it to myself, but there's a clip of it's sort of this guy. I don't know his name yet, but sort of it's a lovely day clip that he's it's gonna be a lovely day that you see in like the trailer. But seeing this with his head, and then you see I can't remember the cat's name, man. Because initially when I first saw the first teaser for this, I thought that was gonna be Caesar's son or something. But Planet of the Apes, yes, can't wait, Ruben. Cannot wait for sure.
I like how this almost has like a retro feel to it.
This one, look at this one. Look at this.
I saw that one down the corner. Yeah.
Damn, that is dope. That is dope.
Yeah, some of the old school movie posters, they just don't make them like that anymore. They just, but this one has almost that feel to it. So,
yeah, because normally you wouldn't see this only in cinemas on a movie poster these days. That was back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now I am, man. As you know, I went into Rise. My son wanted to see it, and I was like, okay, yeah, we'll go check it out. It looks good. And I walked out of that thing thinking, man, this is incredible. And then obviously, what Matt Reeves did with Dawn and War are just those are 5 stars for me. But that's top notch. Like,
I don't think really anyone expected these movies to be as well liked and popular as they were and are, even with this new one coming out. And it's like I think a lot of people got pushed off a little bit with the whole Mark Wahlberg film that happened years ago. So I think a lot of people were like, they're gonna do
I was excited. I went opening night to see that movie, man. And I was like, oh man, it was a little underwhelming. There's some things in there that I liked, but there's also some things in there that I didn't feel that much. So but this this movie it's people are, just because of the success and how much people liked what they did with the other trilogy, people are looking forward to this, man, a lot.
Yeah,
I guess a lot. I mean, people I work with know, it's not like we sit in there, over break or lunch and have like movie conversations. I don't work with those kind of people, but there are people I work with who say they want to see this. So that's
well, weren't I think the original movies, wasn't there 6 or 7 of them?
Yeah, there's a lot.
There was a lot of them. So I wonder if they're going to kind of keep going with this trend of, hey, we can, obviously there's enough content there to keep making these films. So it'd be good to see him to continue doing it as long as it's a success. But I have no doubt this one will be a success as the other ones were.
Yeah, and Wes Ball, I remember seeing something where he said, "I'm excited for people to see this. It's been a long 5-year journey." So he's been working on this movie for 5 years, man. That's a long, from concept probably to screenplay to all the way to completion. So
yeah, that's a long time.
I have no doubt that it's going to be. I loved. The ending of War still makes me sad, and I know exactly what's going to happen, and it still makes me sad, like watching the end. You know what I mean? Just because Caesar was such a profound character that damn, what's his name? The mocap. You know what I'm talking about? If I hadn't asked,
yeah. I'm here like trying to go through the files.
Man, he played Snoke. He played in Black Panther. Like if I hadn't asked, like we'd be able to remember it. But the work he did in bringing Caesar to life is it's incredible, man. It's just incredible. So like, this movie deserves all the hype that it's getting.
Yeah, I have a couple of those movies as well. When something's coming, and you're like for me, it's the first 15 minutes of John Wick, the first one. I can't watch it. Primarily, especially when with the dog. I literally, if I'm gonna watch John
Andy
Wick,
Serkis, thank you, Chase. Andy Serkis.
I'll skip the first 15 minutes of it every time. I just can't. I know it's not real. I know they didn't really kill a dog on.
But I got you. And I have both my dogs. They're like they're like some Pomeranian and Shih Tzu mix. So like they're little,
tiny
little dogs. Yeah, tiny dogs, and they've been with us for 10+. So no, I feel you. That also, it also, when you see that, and it's a bit upsetting. Then once you see how he what John does to them, by the end of the movie, you're like, okay.
Yep, it's all deserving.
Yes, well deserved fucking ass kicking y'all just got. So yeah, I feel you on that. So yeah, Kingdom of Planet of the Apes, start tomorrow, please. Yeah, I know we still got a couple weeks, but let's move on a little bit. Craven, yo, man, why does Craven keep getting pushed back? For this, I thought that this movie was finished.
Yeah, I saw this along with when they announced that even Blade his being pushed.
Yes.
Or again, we talked about Blade last Monday, and we were like, oh, finally it's gonna happen. And now within a week, it's now changed again. When it comes to Craven, though, I just don't know if your general audience out there even really knows.
What was that? It said, Sonic comes out the same weekend as Craven now. Sonic does. It says Sonic beating the shit out of Craven. It's like a cat dunking a basketball.
Well, I mean, you're gonna have. I mean, most your kids are gonna go see Sonic before they go see Craven. I think Craven's problem is your general audience doesn't know the character, and they're trying to do this blockbuster movie. I mean, it might get some headway. I mean, it's coming out around the Christmas time. Schools will be out. Parents taking their kids out to do stuff during the holidays, so it might generate some money. But I mean, I think if Sonic's going to be out around that same time, forget it. It's not gonna.
Yeah, and the Sonic, they're good. I can't even both Sonic movies were fucking great. I hadn't watched damn, how do I? I wish somebody needs to put a counter up for how many times during a show that I forget something that I would normally just be able to spill off the.
Like a bell or something, like a counter on the screen.
We forgot again. Knuckles, the Knuckles series. I hadn't watched any of that yet, but I will say I agree with Ruthie though.
Yeah,
I've watched both Sonics. I've watched them both at home. I hadn't went to you know what I mean. That's not my speed. Even though I enjoyed them a lot, I would rather see Kraven than Sonic in movie theaters. Like if I'm talking about going to the movie theaters, which the little trailer we got for Kraven looked good, man. It looked
it does look good, but I mean it looks good to 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 the fans that know the character, that know the property, but your general audience does. Now I like the actor, Aaron Taylor Johnson.
He's his name.
Aaron, I liked him in like Bullet Train. I thought he played great in Bullet Train with Brad Pitt.
I liked him in Kick-Ass, man. He was great.
Yeah, and Kick-Ass as well. Yep, Kick-Ass as well. Has a potential to be the next James Bond. If that happens to work out, I think he'd be great. I
do as well. I think he'd be great in as James Bond. He has the look. He has, and he's probably. I wonder how much taller he is than Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig, when way back when they cast him as Bond, I was like, oh, interesting. And then he nailed that shit. That's like my favorite James Bond set of movies, from Casino Royale to No Time to Die. Like that, those movies, like I think when they brought in that fighting style of him being sort of that blunt instrument type thing that they always described him as, and just like fighting. Some of those fight scenes are like some of the best I've seen choreographed. You know what I mean? It's a lot different than like something you might see in John Wick, but it's still just as brutal and just as like, just as like, you ever watch a fight scene and be like, man, whoever created this is very smart. Like whoever choreographed this is really, really good at what the fuck they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially Daniel Craig's first outgoing as James Bond. I mean, that whole film, every fight scene was like, damn, that was really good. And Daniel, so Aaron Taylor Johnson is 5'11" and Daniel Craig is 5'10". So he's a little bit taller than Daniel.
Just a little bit, but they still have that okay, that's shit, man. Which that doesn't make a difference when it comes to the way they film them. They're gonna make them look how they want to make them.
Now, like if they would have gone with like Idris Elba, because he's much taller than that.
He is.
They definitely would have had to have gone a different route to make the story for an older James Bond, because Idris is not a young guy, but I would have even loved to have seen him play James Bond.
Yeah.
So
there was talk about that for a little bit, man, about him. And obviously they talk about Henry Cavill and stuff.
Yeah, I know he was focusing more on the Luther series he's been doing. Which, if you haven't seen Luther, I highly recommend go watch it. Is it finished yet, or is it like? Oh yeah, the show has been done for a while. He did a movie. The movie is on Netflix.
Yeah.
But there's a 4 or 5 series running. I think you can get it on Hulu if you have Hulu.
Okay.
But it's one of those shows you will start and you'll be like, we're gonna keep going. I gotta keep going. What's this about?
I'll have to because I do have a list of them that I have been, which I do have some time off next week, and I'm gonna try to like binge Fallout in that little time so I can sort of get caught up.
Fallout. Oh yeah, man, top notch.
Notch. I've heard.
If you've ever played the video games,
I played one of them. I think it was 4. Was it 4?
Then you will appreciate the show.
Okay.
Appreciate the show.
Okay. Nice. So pushing it back again, December 13th, I guess now, and I didn't know that until I just saw the comment where it's going to be right up against Sonic. So. Woo! And what a date to pick.
Yeah, really.
Considering how and that season 2, December. Holy shit, man. So I wanted to bring this up just because this was the funniest. I saw this picture. I think it was Friday evening. It says Jack Nicholson, Carrie Fisher, and Rick James in the 80s. Bro, what you think they up to right here, man? What?
Hey, man, it's the 80s. What do you? I mean, and Rick James is there. Come on, we know what they're up to.
Look at all three of them.
What's in that cup.
Yes. Fallout is amazing. Yes. I need to watch it. You need to watch Baby Reindeer. What's Baby Reindeer, man?
Yeah. Okay. I'm not. So I know Ruthie has seen it. I'm not going to spoil it for you. She actually told me about the show. I had briefly like saw it on Netflix, like the little tile, the like icon for it, and just didn't think nothing about it, but it was new. I think he got put on there like a week or 2 ago. That show is crazy. I think it's only 7 or 8 episodes, but they're about a little over an hour each episode. It's one of those where and I'm not going to mention any spoilers just because it's really new.
Mhm.
It's again one of those shows you're going to start and you're going to want to keep watching because you want to
Keep
know what's
watching.
going on.
Okay, okay,
But
okay.
it is not in any way suitable for children. So,
Okay, okay. No, yeah.
and when you watch it, you're going to be like, what am I watching? Is this
Is it live action or is it like an animated show or is
no? It's live action.
okay.
Based on a true. And when I say based on true story, it is truly. It's not one of those. Oh, it's just based on true story, and it's very.
Oh, true
fluff.
events or something.
It's
Yeah.
actually something that happened. But yeah, I mean, like I said, Ruthie put me onto it, and
Okay.
I think I binged the whole thing, and I was just like, every episode was like, I was literally just like this on one episode. I was like, I can't. What am I actually watching? This is crazy. This is crazy.
Yeah, my wife loves this. It's called Big Mouth. It's on there. You ever heard of Big Mouth? It's an animated show. It's like probably it's about it's animated and it's Nick Kroll is his name, actor he was on this show called the League. It was like about fantasy football or whatever.
I know about the League.
Yes,
I love that show.
The League was incredible, man. But so he has an animated show with a lot of comedians who voice. It's not for kids by any stretch of the imagination. It's about puberty in high school, and it's like everybody had. It's hard for me to describe it because I've only watched a little bit of it, but she loves it. But it's like one of those shows you watch and you're like, fuck am I watching, man? Like
that's what this is about. That's how this is. But you're gonna want to keep watching because you want to know you want to know what happens.
Okay.
But yeah, the League Taco's the best, man.
Yeah, he is. I love the League, and I miss it. That when it was gone. I know the last season wasn't as good as like the first couple, but I do miss that show. I wish that they bring something else back that sort of makes fun of fantasy football because people be getting way too serious about fantasy football, man.
I agree.
All right. So anyway, I just wanted to bring this picture up because I thought it was funny, and I was like, "Yo, what is what they doing there, man?"
Yeah, man, that looks like
Rick James's belt,
right?
Like
a crazy party that they're probably at too.
It does. Let's see. Come on, load up. Oh shit! Let me throw on some. So I saw this list and I was like, is this real? Or I don't know who the hell Holyfield M5 is, but it says Steven Spielberg and Jordan Peele are currently top choices right now to direct Tom Holland. Is that real? Does that even sound real?
That doesn't sound even remotely real to me.
Yeah, and then it also says Chris Nolan and George Miller. See, here's the thing. Chris Nolan ain't doing no Spider-Man movie. I don't even think he would have been approached because he'd have been like, no, off rip. Just because he remember he gave his reasons on why he did Batman, and he's like, I don't want to do any more movies like that. So yeah. So I was just like, because when I first saw that, I was like, can you imagine Steven Spielberg doing a Spider-Man movie? Because it's like he's never took a property like that, and you know what I'm saying? Like you could say,
and he wouldn't have a lot of like control over it. I mean,
no, and he likes
that's the thing. He likes having control over what he's creating, and he wouldn't have that with a Spider-Man 4 film. No way.
Nah. Neither, and I don't see Jordan Peele doing it because Jordan Peele literally one time said he'll never make a movie where the lead actor isn't African American, so that's not gonna.
Yeah, so he's out.
Yeah, so
at least really George Miller, but I don't see George Miller doing it either.
No, he's about to drop another magnum opus later on next month. So I'm
yeah. I have a better chance of my flip phone over here ringing and getting offered the job than these four.
Yeah. Then either. Well, now I'm sure Marvel would like one of these gentlemen to take that job very much because I
think Marvel would want Spielberg or Nolan out of these four. I think those are the two that they would ideally want, but neither one of them would do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw this and I was like, this would be fun to chat about because this is ridiculous. Like it just doesn't seem like this news like this. Look, if Steven Spielberg was a top choice, it'd be bigger news than just popping up on Marvel updates like it is.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it says Marvel Scoop. But I just thought it was like, what? Insane. Let's move on. Stays taking a minute to. Oh yeah, I was gonna put on some. Hey, did you ever see this movie right here?
I saw
Greenland,
parts. I saw parts,
great.
but when I saw this, I thought the film that didn't need a sequel. I
No,
don't
it
think
did not.
I-
It didn't.
is
You know,
doesn't.
and it's funny because I didn't see it when it first came out. I saw it like on streaming, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed it very much. And then I remember by the time I had watched it, there was already news that they wanted to make another one because it was successful. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what to think about this.
I don't know.
It's one of
Movies like this, when the first one is a success, the sequel, it almost feels like, why didn't you just ship this straight to the $7.99 DVD basket
exactly,
in the middle of Walmart?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and it's this is just basically a photo from the first one, but the first one was fucking great. Like the way it starts and the way that it goes through all of its damn to get to the point it's trying to make, then you're like, yo, this is insane. But yeah, again, not in need of a sequel like they're doing here. So I don't know.
There are so many other.
That's what a lot of people. A lot of people ask the same question. What direction are they taking this? Like, where are they gonna go? So I don't know.
There's so many other movies that deserve a sequel. Dread. We'll just say Dread. Let's just put that out there.
Yes.
And we can't get a sequel for that, but we're gonna get a sequel for this. So
yeah.
You know.
Which, well, I don't know. I'm sure Dread's. You know what? Dread probably costs less to make than the first one of Greenland, considering Dread takes place in this one spot, and you can tell there's a lot of green screen thing. So it probably, This one was all over the country. As far as I don't know if they were on location all the time, but so yeah, we're getting a sequel for Greenland, y'all. See where that goes. See where that goes.
And that's all assuming it actually. I mean, who knows? A lot of people could be told go spend more time with their family, and the movie never gets made.
Yeah. Seriously. Did you see this? Well, Michael B. Jordan had shared the trailer, so everybody's like going nuts. Who played Human Torch and Eric Killmonger has reposted the trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine. It was on his Instagram story, like right here.
Oh, I was gonna say I didn't see a post for it. I didn't check. I don't have. Oh yeah, there you go.
So I don't know.
Is the rumor now that he's in it?
I guess they just because he put that up there, and look, the hype level of this movie is definitely surpassed. I think we're going to get our first $200 million opening weekend for Deadpool when it comes out in July. I think that's going to be so we haven't had one yet, and I think we're finally going to get one, because that's, if you think about it, the movies that come out around it and sort of when this movie hits and how sort of hungry people are for, like, I guess they call it good Marvel content after a little, little period of like some sort of stuff that like wasn't up to standard. So I think that, like, I could be totally fucking wrong, but I mean, I
think this will be the blockbuster for the summer. This is gonna be the one that's gonna bring in all the money. I mean, there are other some good movies that are coming out this summer, but nothing that's gonna pull in money like this one. I'm not saying, and I won't go as far to say that this is gonna save the MCU.
No.
I think it might help course correct the MCU.
I think that's what
they're get them to start putting out. What they were originally putting out was quality films, good stories, and it just seems like the last several movies and TV shows that they've been putting out have just been complete misses. Or like if we think about like Moon Knight, they did a Moon Knight series, and then when have we heard of Moon Knight since then? Zero. Moon Knight
hasn't showed up in anything either, which we don't know if he's gonna.
I mean. If he pops up in this, but you spend all that money on a show like that to get people excited for this character, then it just totally just fizzled out. So I'm looking forward to this, and like I said, I think it's going to be. I think it'll be on par with what we expect from a Deadpool movie, as far as like violence and what we've seen from the trailers, like some of the humor we've seen that you don't typically see from a Disney film. So.
No, I agree. I agree 1000%. Also, I feel like it's going to have a bunch of those moments that's going to make you have to immediately go back and watch it again. Like, wait a minute, did I just see what I thought I just saw? I need to see it again. You know what I mean? And then, of course, because myself, probably twice opening weekend at least. You know, I'll probably try to catch the earliest showing that they have, which would be the Thursday, and then at some point in the weekend, I'm gonna have to watch it again because I feel like there's gonna be a lot of stuff in there that's gonna be like worth that rewatch. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I think because based on just what we know from cameos, some of those cameos might be really quick, and you may not even realize it, and you're like, "Oh man, I just missed that." And to your point, you're gonna want to go back now that you've kind of seen the core story.
Yeah,
the second view, you can start kind of picking it apart a little bit as you watch it. So yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, no, so so I don't know. He shared it on his thing, so that's cool. So I don't know.
It'd be crazy though it'd be crazy if he pops up though in a
I wouldn't be surprised. The thing is, it's like it's like I wouldn't be surprised if he did, just because of I think
if he did, who do you think he'd show up as? I think the Human Torch, only because Fox is, they don't have.
And that's funnier. That's funnier. The Human Torch is a funnier if him showing up. Killmonger, that character was way too serious, bro. Like if he showed up in this movie, like what? I mean, is he? Because I don't see them. Because Killmonger's like one of the probably top 3 villains MCU has had in their entire run. In my opinion,
their run, yeah, absolutely.
Yes, he was up there with Thanos and Loki and shit. So I don't see them making a joke out of that, but I can sure see a joke out of the Human Torch, just because if they do bring any from Fan Four Stick, they're gonna make fun of it, probably to a certain degree. I don't know. I would probably rather see
especially since they got that big Fox sign on the beach.
That is
so that's what makes me think if he is in it, it'll probably be as a Human Torch, to your point, because Fox no longer owns it, and now we're gonna make fun of it. So
yeah. So I got you there. All right. So smooth. Man, I literally cannot just because it's like by the time Deadpool and Wolverine comes out, it's going to be one of those situations to where you're like so hyped for it. You know what I'm saying? Because by the time we get there, you're going to be seen a little bit more. Hopefully they don't show too much more, but it's probably, like you say, the movie event of the summer, guaranteed, as far as box office goes. Bro, what you think, man? I'm
not keen on this. I mean, there's an audience out there for it.
Oh yes, guaranteed. Yeah, because the first one made a billion. The first live action one that they did. So, I don't know. Orphan, Outsider, King. I mean, it could be good, but I mean, like as far as the animated Lion King, that movie's classic. I couldn't tell you whether whatever age I was, how many times I've seen that movie. It's sort of like that's back when Disney was in their animated heyday, when they were dropping when they would drop movies just about every year, they would drop something and it would be like, it would be in that same vein. Great animation, storytelling, voice acting, music. They'd always have some, Grammy winners who come in and do the songs and things of that nature. So Lion King is dope. The live action one, they missed me with that one, man.
Well, I think a lot of their live action films based off whether it's The Little Mermaid, Lion King. I know they've tried a few stories off of Sleeping Beauty. And then there was the Seven Dwarves fiasco we've heard about over the last year. I just think some of those you don't need live action. Just enjoy the success of the animated and the success those animated films still have today that resonate with fans. I mean, when we look at how old we are, and those came out when we were kids. I mean, there's the kids today still, parents show their kids those films and they love them.
They do.
That drives merchandise sales and all that. So I don't think you necessarily need these live action ones to gain interest. I think the animated films are still hitting hard with that younger generation today. So
they are. I brought that up. Let's see. Get these things loaded. I feel the same way. And plus, man, the Jungle Book was okay. I thought the Little Mermaid was, but the Lion King, and remember people kept making the comparisons about the lack of emotion, And I was like, yeah, that's you can like that stands out when you watch the first one, the lack of emotion. And you're like, and then obviously the comparison has always been the original Narnia movies that you know what I'm talking about. Like they were able to show emotion. So I feel that. I feel that to a certain extent, man. Game of Thrones video game reportedly in development.
Man,
multiplayer game set in the North. Story campaign is online. I am interested in this. I'm normally don't play those MMO RPGs like that, but your boy might have to, because I'm massive Game of Thrones fan, and I would like to see exactly how they take that world. And it's supposed to be. I read some more on it. It's supposed to all be on the wall, in the North or whatever. And so, but the wall and Westeros, the other spots will still be like sort of in play on the game. So
they better make it right, because if they don't take the time and the effort to make this video game solid, who's ever creating it, whatever, they're gonna be out of business if this doesn't hit hard.
Yeah, because
without bug issues, without error issues, and then and even the story is gonna have to align either with the show, if that's what they're gonna base it on, or the books. You can't deviate and just do your own thing.
Because this ain't the one I saw earlier about this. It said it's sort of like it might be like between seasons 4 and 5 or so. So yes, it has to. It's gonna have to follow the story of the show to a certain extent. So like so it would have been even more interesting if it would have been something in the North that takes place after the very last episode of Game of Thrones. Then you have more freedom. But it seems as though they've locked themselves into sort of a
what they could have done. Yeah, what they could have done, since they're no longer doing the spin-off Jon Snow show, which is a huge disappointment. I think that show should have happened. Maybe, I mean, they could have always done a game off of that, where instead of doing the show, we'll make this game as it was going to be the show, right? So
Jon Snow's Adventures Beyond the Wall after Game of Thrones ends, which would have been dope, man. He said, look, somebody said sound like something that get canceled mid-development.
Yep, that's
Sadly,
what I'm thinking.
It does sound like it. It sounds like they'll run into one problem. They can't fix the map or something. And it's like, okay, game, we're not making this no more.
Well, a lot of these big video games lately have been having like the whole DCing, the whole Suicide versus the Justice League, or Kills the Justice League, whatever that game was called. That one tanked hard.
Yeah, it did. And it's funny because every time I go to Walmart, I see it over there and it's still $70. And I'm like, yes, nobody's buying that. That's why there's still 17 copies in the slot like there was 2 weeks ago. Like
exactly.
Exactly. Hold up. Is this the all right, let me pull up the YouTube on this. This is the so let's check this out, man. This is what we're gonna wrap up with. They dropped a final trailer for X-Men 97 today. Let's pull this up. So we're gonna take a look at this, and then afterwards, sort of give our thoughts on this as we brace ourselves for the last 3 episodes of the first season of X-Men 97. Let's check it out, man. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it.
You were my first students, my family. I wanted you to be free. Help build a world where mutants could live however they wish, safe and without fear. My X-Men.
Oh, the little.
I guess chair or something, yeah.
We have to be strong for the team. For every mutant still out there, they need hope.
Let us do what we do. Believe in each other.
Charles Xavier entrusted me with his dream. Everything he built, everything he fought for, now belongs to me. My X-Men.
Almost forgot.
Oh, am I going to war or a circus?
What'd you expect? Black leather?
That black leather line is too good, man.
Well, you know, that's a callback to the first X-Men film.
Yeah. That's why it's
Yeah.
too good, because I remember he's like, what did you want? Yellow spandex?
Yeah, yellow spandex.
Yeah. That's that. Yeah. Yeah. No. I think what they have in store for us probably for these last 3 episodes is probably gonna be nothing short of like some epic shit. Because like this animated series does emotion better than half the fucking movies I've seen in my entire lifetime. You know what I mean? Like as far as like real emotion, like characters feeling pain and having to deal with certain like day-to-day things as mutants, they killing it, man. And I think that was dope. I mean, obviously a lot of that was stuff that we've seen before, I guess, you know, sort of priming you for what they have to come or whatever when it comes to how they're going to finish it off, man. What'd you think about it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how they play out this 3-part finale, which is that's interesting. You know, usually it's maybe 2 parts is the most you'll see, but a 3-part finale. So that tells me they have a lot more story to tell to wrap this up.
Yeah.
One thing I caught from which we briefly talked about earlier was we get to see more of Nightcrawler, as we saw there. That looks like Cable stays. Because we did see him earlier on the season, then he went away, then he came back in the last episode. So in that trailer, he's there, he's in the mix with them, he's fighting with them. So that glad to see that he's going to be part of the last 3 episodes, because we didn't know how that was going to play out. And then lastly, they did kind of spoil it a little bit in the trailer, which was Magneto. He gets his full armor on, he has his helmet on, and it looks like he goes back to full-on fledged villain.
Villain.
He started off as supposedly being the good guy, but now either that scene makes it sound like even his talk over makes it seem like he's aware Charles is coming back to take back the X-Men, take back all of his things, so to speak. And Magneto's like, "Nuh-uh, it's mine now." And
you
like,
gave
now,
it to me.
Now I'm the villain, Magneto.
Dead.
Yeah. So I'm glad to see that we're gonna get this Magneto back, because I like the villain Magneto. So
yeah. I think it also gives because as long as I've like between reading X-Men and watching the movies and the animated series from the 90s, and then obviously this one, there's no villain for the X-Men like Magneto. That is the ultimate cat. So that yes, it will be good to see him back in that stance. Obviously, I think you know what happened on the what is it, Genosha? What happened there probably said it because like it was surprising hearing some of the things he said. And you know what, once he got in front of like UN, he was like Charles Xavier trusted me to do this, so that's why he said he was going to try to be a good dude, you know, and sort of try to change his ways a bit. But to see him come returning back after what happened there, that's what you know, because look as people watching that, you know, we all know how the world works, but you see that happen to your favorite X-Men, and you're like, yeah, let's see somebody with the balls to take revenge and do something. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what Rogue did in the last episode.
Yes. So. Yeah, which we had talk about that real quick. My favorite part of it, without a doubt, was Rogue throwing fucking Cap shield like 2,000 miles away. That was fucking. That's it, man. That's all I needed to see. I almost stopped watching after that. Like, yo, that was dope. Yeah, Captain America's my favorite. Like, as far as MCU goes up to this point, that has been he was my favorite character. Like throughout the because Winter Soldier is still probably my favorite MCU movie like of all time, because it's just
for me, Winter Soldier is number one.
It's the gold standard.
For me, for Rogue, the last episode was, I think it's not a Rogue that we've typically seen where she's full on rage, like a rage version of Rogue, where she's like, I don't care, I'm using my powers, I don't care who I'm gonna have to use it on to get what I need to get. And then when she drops Trask off the building, I mean, obviously they didn't know he was a human sentinel at the time when she dropped him, but just the fact that she was just like, no, I'm dropping you off, kind of like in Winter Soldier when Black Widow kicks the guy off the roof. Kind of similar to that. Like Captain's like, I wouldn't do that, but she will. And she didn't, just kicks him right off.
These
last 3 episodes are going to be, I think they're going to be fire.
Yeah, I think they're going to be super fire. And Yeah, man, I don't have a clue where we're going to be sitting after at the end of the season, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to know. I don't want any secrets, and that's why this trailer I like it so much, because, like I said, it sort of showed us a bunch that we'd already seen with just a little bit of new, like this right here.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah.
No, the scene with between Rogue and Nightcrawler when he was talking to her, and they had that sort of, you know what I'm talking about? In the last episode, man, you want to talk about some real shit, man. You know, what I'm saying? Like, as far as you know, him realizing what, you know what I'm saying? Like
when they were sitting outside the cemetery, I think that's what you're talking about, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
they're definitely, it's definitely a very grounded animated show, especially for animated. You don't really see them grounded like this, where it's where they're your choices have consequences. It's not,
exactly. Yeah.
And I like the fact that the story over each episode has continued. Does it feel like every episode has just been a brand new show? I mean, it's literally been where as you watch it, you see the consequences, the choices progressing. This year, that was just a dick move, throwing Cap shield like that.
I love it, dude.
He's got to walk probably like 20 miles to go get the shield back.
Well, it was funny because, you know, when she gets in there, he says this facility was designed to hold out the Hulk, you know, or something along those lines. But she got in, and I was like, no wonder Cap didn't fight her for that shield, because if this facility was designed to keep the Hulk out, but she got in there, he's like, shit, I don't know if I want them hands, man. But no, and look, it's also cool because the reason the small conversation that they have before she throws the shield, which is, no, it would show that you stand with us, that you stand with the mutants, and if you don't, then you don't need, you know what I'm saying, that you won't be needing. In other words, she was blatantly putting it on the line, like, look, we need some of y'all to come help us. Like, we need y'all. And if you ain't, then you know what? Take your shield and fucking shove it. And we'll, you know, take care of this by ourselves if they so much have to or whatever. But because he was trying, remember, he said he's trying to know that I can't do it. It's not by the book. And she's like, well, then you won't be needing this shield then.
And that's why I think this will that was probably the only time we're going to see either him or any of the Avengers. I think maybe in season 2, depending upon how this one ends, this first season, we could see maybe a few more appearances of maybe Captain America in the second season, which would be pretty cool to see that the team up of some of the Avengers and the X-Men in this animated series. So
yeah, it would. And there's still the Spider-Man rumors that, that are out there. So and we still, and like I said, we still have 3 episodes. What the dude Bo, he was the creator, the writer, he was asked, and he said, "You just gonna have to wait and see." He couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine the last episode having just the biggest 5-minute cliffhanger where they start cameoing and then say, "Oh, well, you have to wait till next year for season 2."
As a matter of fact, I mean, I had already considered it. That's probably going to happen. Like I have of mentally prepared myself for like a cliffhanger like no other at the end of the first season of X-Men, where fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like something, and you're just like, what? No. And then it's just like, then that's all you get, and you have to wait whenever season 2 comes out.
It's gonna be big, but how is the question is how big is the
how big?
Yeah.
Hey man, look, I'll tell you what, episode 5, I love animated shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the original DC animated universe that they had, you know, leading up to when they changed the animation and stuff, like the earlier shit, you know, when they were putting out movies for like Flashpoint, and you know, that stuff. I love that. Invincible, like fucking Toy Story. Like I am a fan of animation, and sort of it's always amazing to me what people can do with that shit. Episode 5 of this show, that's the best I've ever seen ever. Like the best, like animation, story, sort of all of those things combined in a medium that wasn't live action. That's the best I've ever seen.
Yeah. So episode 5 was the attack. Okay. Yeah. So like
when Gambit, you know, when Gambit, you know, died,
when he dies at the end. Yeah. Yes. So like, the last 15-20 minutes of the episode was just in your face action, and they built up to it so well because they had that thing where Magneto wanted Rogue to be his, you know, and Gambit's like, all right, well, I guess we just and so like then you saw the dance, and right after that, it shit went haywire. You know what I mean? When Cable showed up, and to Madeline Pryor,
So No, again, that's why I was talking about that particular episode is and all of them have been great for me for throughout this entire series, but that one is the standout one thus far. I have a feeling that's going to change though when we get to what's coming or whatever, man.
Yeah,
so,
I would agree. I would 100% agree. Episode 5, which I'm trying to think, it was
it's called Remember It. Yeah, because he said my name is
5. The only one that I think has the consensus of it was okay was episode 4, the Motendo episode.
Yeah,
was more of like where we go into the video game world. That definitely felt like just a filler episode. Hey, we need to kind of fill some space. Let's talk about these characters, which hey, we never thought we would see those particular villains or an older Jubilee. Like a simulated video game version of an older of her, but we did. But yeah, it's crazy what this show can. Obviously, it's animated to your point, so you can have a lot more free will, so to speak, for a lot of these characters and what they look like, what they can and can't do. It just makes you question, why can't we get just some of this type of storytelling in live action? I mean, come on, Marvel, get it together.
And I think what this show is going to do is it's probably going to have. I would imagine Feige and the gang, conception. What are they going to do for the next live action movie? Because, as a fan of this of X-Men 97, I don't necessarily want you to just take that and make it live action. But at the same time, that's the X-Men stories that I'm loving right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, I think when it comes to them finally sort of casting and getting ready to do their live action X-Men movies, they're gonna have to fight with this. And it sounds shitty to say that, but they're not necessarily fight with the animated series, but people love this. So like if your live action stuff falls off, they're gonna be like, man, you understand what I'm saying? Like,
you're gonna have comparisons. People are they're gonna look at if you give them a new Nightcrawler or a Wolverine, whoever, if you bring these core X-Men characters into live action again, that very first film, the very first comparisons gonna be is X-Men 97 animated. Yes. And if it doesn't hold up, or if it even is even, people are still going to question, man, you couldn't do better than animated. And if it doesn't do better, then it's going to be like, hey, I don't want your live action. Give me more.
Yeah. Just keep giving me that. Yeah. And also, I don't know if they're even considering this possibility, but they could, and this would be insane, if they did the animated series and then like the live action movie is like basically the Yeah. So like just all of that in live action for like a movie, and then you go back to another season of the animated series. Yeah. I don't know if they would sort of contend with doing something like that. I don't know, but it's gonna be they have some decision making in front of them because this series is more. I think it's more popular than like when they announced it. I was like, okay, and then once I started seeing a few things from it, I was like, all right. Then I saw the first 2 episodes, and I was like, this is insanely fucking fire. Like so, like, and then it's only gotten better as the season has went on. So
because they did so much, I think, unexpected things every episode. Like, who would have thought you were going to see Madeline Pryor right away? Or Sinister, Goblin Queen. I mean, all these, whether they're villains,
killing Gambit,
killing Gambit. I mean, no one was expecting to see this even in the first 7 episodes, and they've done it. I mean, again, you can do that with the animation, but they did it. They didn't have to, but they did, and it hit, and the audience loved the fact that they weren't afraid to kill Gambit, or what we initially thought killed Magneto, because a lot of people thought he had died. And then Madeline Pryor, bring her in, which we believe to be also dead as well. No one thought that, they'll never bring the character, but if they bring the character, are they going to kill them off? Probably not. I mean, whoever thought Gambit would get killed off? Yeah. No one did. And when he died, I was like, because I'm a Gambit fan. I've always wanted to see a true live action Gambit film. And when he died, I was like, wow, I can't believe they killed Gambit off, and he's legit dead.
And the way they did it too, with so much style, and they took it wasn't just it felt to me like if indeed he never comes back, they really took care with his death scene. It was just Gambit 1000%. The name's Gambit. Remember it. I was like, bro, that sent chills down. It sent chills down my spine just now, just recalling watching that. And I remember I told you, as soon as that episode was over, I watched it 3 more times. Like,
I mean, from them killing him off, from him stepping in to save Rogue, then him sacrificing himself. Then when she finds his body And then the line, just the line where she's like, she's finally able to touch him.
Yeah, and she can't feel him.
But she can't be. I mean, he's dead, so she can't hurt him. And then the very next episode, what do we start off with? His funeral.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, so they were trying to hit on the emotions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for the whole 10 minutes of that last episode, the first 5 minutes of the next episode.
Yeah.
So
that was great, man.
Yeah.
So we about to wrap this up real quick, man. I wanted to shout out, man. Shouts out to William and all involved with the Sci-Fi Center. They reached their goal this past weekend for $15,000 for
That's
the
awesome.
They were trying to for AFSP, raising money, doing a bunch of watch alongs. You know, they watched everything, every single thing you could think of from Zach. They watched under Rebel Moon and stuff.
They even watched the whole Scary Movie franchise.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. And they also watched Justice League as well too.
They did watch Justice League. Yeah, they finished it off with Zack Snyder's Justice League. Yeah,
they did. Yes, which was, and shouts out, man. This is good to see as always, man. Shouts out to William and everybody who sort of, you know, spent some time into this. I think I was on one stream or another. It's kind of hard for me to make some of those because they're late, because he does some overnight streams. I'm like, man, I got to work in the morning. But no, I thought this was absolutely incredible. So shouts out, man. And I hope I'd like to see Zach get him some recognition for putting some, you know what I'm saying, put some hard-earned time in there and sort of putting those things. They hit the goal, yes. I've seen you on the last couple streams, Ruthie. Yeah, so I
think Ruthie's been on just about all, if not majority, of the watch parties they were doing.
I seen her. I know I saw her on this past weekend. I hopped in for a little bit and I had to bounce out or whatever. But yeah, man, this is good to see, man. Just people working hard to raise money for a cause that is absolutely outstanding. As a veteran myself, like, this is AFSP, man. Suicide is not a joke. It's real. Like, I've seen it. So this what they did here was absolutely outstanding, and I do hope that you know what I'm saying, Zach shouts him out, man. That'd be cool as hell to hear Zach, you know what I'm saying, shout them out for putting this together and sort of raising.
Yeah, and they didn't slow down. I mean, you know, sometimes you see some of these I don't want to call it an event. That's not the right word, but sometimes you see some of these things start up and then they kind of just fizzle out.
Yeah, because they feel like they're not raising money at the rate they should or whatever. Just stick with it.
They did. William, Brad, and the whole crew that they had for these watch parties, everyone. I mean, they were getting the word out on a daily basis to raise funds to meet this goal. So that was really cool.
I was putting it out there as much as I possibly could, man. But yeah, man, shouts out. I want to shout that out before we bounced off of here, man. Kind of long for a Monday show, but I don't mind. Monday shows tend to run long anyway. A lot of news over the weekend, man. And hey, man, appreciate you as always hopping on, brother. Hey, it's been
my camera messed up.
Oh, did it?
I have one of those 360 cameras.
Okay.
So it tracks me.
Oh, okay.
If I move a certain way. So
quality,
man. Yeah, I always have fun. I always have fun on these shows. Yeah.
Hey, man, I appreciate you as always, and see you guys on Thursday, man. Whatever's happened, I don't know if there's going to be anything else happening for the rest of this week. Like I said, today was sort of slow on the news, but I did want to talk about that X-Men because, you know, that's probably next Monday you come on. We'll talk about this week's episode. I don't like to spoil it on the Thursday show because it's too fresh. You know what I'm saying?
It's way too fresh. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, appreciate you, Ruthie, as always supporting the show. Always, man. One of the biggest supporters of the show for sure. William, the Sci-Fi family. Yes, they are. They are. All right. So, hey, you guys take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And I'll see you guys in a few days. Take it easy.